Guys, that's immediate. This is gonna be a little bit of a different video. We're gonna do a winch on the trailer here. It's not gonna be super detailed because I really don't know how I'm gonna do it yet. So I'm gonna set up a time lapse. We're gonna talk a little bit and we're gonna see if this little 2,500 pound winch will pull up a fox body. Which, spoiler alert, a bunch of my friends actually have these winches and they work just fine. Now, side note, these little small winches like this will pull most anything you need to, but they're just not gonna last. You're gonna stretch the cable and you could, in theory, bust the winch, which it happens. So just kind of know that ahead of time. But for what we're doing, guys, we're not gonna be pulling cars all the time. It's just there in case we need it. So also, if you've got a car with, you know, with tires that are pumped up and you're not on some huge incline, this thing will probably last a very, very long time. Where you're gonna run into trouble is when you start trying to pull vehicles up with flat tires and stuff like that. You're really gonna stress the winch out if you try to do that. By the way, guys, this thing costs $79 with a coupon. 79 bucks, and it's wireless. So that's why we went with this. Let's go ahead, open this thing up, see what we got. Say if you got your instructions and your little owner's manual. Guys, this is a tiny little winch. Look at that. That's awesome. That's really what I want. I want something really small. So here is the winch. Yep. So here's your handheld switch inside of here. Circuit breaker. Here is our wireless remote, which was the main reason why I purchased this. That looks to be a really good shackle. Hook, which also honestly seems really nice. And then lastly, just your nuts and bolts. So I think we're gonna go right here, dead in the center with the winch. So this is what I come up with. We're gonna mount this thing as simple as possible because I realize not a lot of people have equipment and stuff like that, you know, extra metal laying around, welders, chop saws and stuff like that. I really don't either. I have access to the stuff, but rather than worrying about all that, let's see if we can make this work as easily and cheaply as possible. What I did was I come in and drilled 3 more holes. So these are the factory mounting holes, this and this. What I did was come in and drill another hole here, here, and here. Now what those holes would allow me to do is bolt it directly to the top rail up here. Now this thing's pretty robust. I don't see it really going anywhere, but if it does, we can always add a brace in down here. So now all that's left to do is literally drill 3 holes, put some bolts in this thing, mount it up. We've got this thing mounted up and everything looks good other than the fact I'm not sure where to put the guide at. So I'm gonna have to probably build some type of bracket or something. I hated to kind of do that, or I may just weld it on. We'll figure that out later though. That's not an issue right now. So here's your control box right here. And I have already confirmed that everything works. Hooked it up to the battery over here. So what I think I'm gonna do is drill 2 little small holes. We're gonna mount the box right here. Then we're gonna bring our wires down, come inside of our channel, and we're gonna come into the bottom of the box down here. So I'm gonna drill a hole and put a grommet in the bottom of the box. That way the wires can come up inside the box and connect. And guys, we are done. So let me go ahead, knock this thing out, and I'll get back to you guys in just a few minutes. So I decided to move this box. So now the box is mounted on the front side. And I also had to cut the power, the circuit breaker that's attached to the end of this cable. I had to cut that because it wouldn't fit up through the box. So I want to put all of this inside of my box. So we have a rubber grommet that we're going to put in the hole right here. That's already fished in. And now all we have to do is strip this wire back, reconnect it, and I will be using these little connectors right here. These things work really good, guys, and they're watertight. I'll put a link to them on Amazon. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and finish buttoning this up, get the battery in, and I probably won't bolt the battery box down today just because we're running out of time. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to show you guys. We got the solar power battery maintainer. This thing is pretty simple. It comes with leads right here. It comes with a couple different options. So what I did was went ahead and cut the end off of it. That way I can push it up through the bottom of the box down here. That way we can get power and not have to run all this new stuff. Forgot all about this thing, so I'm gonna have to re-zip tie everything and make it look nice. I'm not sure of the placement of it yet, but we'll see. I may just keep it in the box and just set it out whenever, you know, it's not in use. I don't know yet. We'll see. Honestly, I think for what we're gonna do, we're just gonna snip this off right here, and we're gonna do it this way. I think it would just be easier. This is all we need anyway. So white wire is shorter, longer. So let's strip this back. I'll go get some of my little fancy connectors that I got off Amazon. I really like those things, by the way. We'll get back, we'll hook this up and see if this thing generates any power. All right, that is it, guys. We've got her done. She's wired up. Everything has been completed except for the, I have to still mount the battery box. It just needs to be mounted. Here's the remote. There's the box. And basically that's how everything's gonna look. I went back and forth, guys, with where to put this. This is not a good spot. It's gonna get busted right here. I don't want it on the box, and there's really not a good place to put it. I am gonna take the connections off when the sun's out and see if this thing's actually making any power. If not, I'm just gonna take it off. But yeah, that's what we got. I think it's a nice little clean setup. Now all these wires right here will be in a loom eventually. I just don't have any today, so it is what it is. Also, we still have to put the guide on this thing, so I'm gonna have to be really careful right now with this. Make sure, you know, it doesn't get all screwed up. Down here is our box so that we can use our handheld. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna give the camera to Aubrey, let her video. We're gonna use our wireless remote, and how this thing works is you hold it for 3 seconds till the light comes on. There it is, and it should work. Guys, that's immediate. There's no delay there at all. So let's go ahead and pull this thing out. Remember, just using this. So since we're not worried about this car and how pretty it stays, let's just try to find a spot to hook and hope we don't get on a snake. I don't think that'll work. It does have a flat tire over here, but we'll see how that goes. So make sure you let your winch rest for a few minutes. Like if you've been running, we ran this thing pretty hard. I mean, you got to remember, guys, this is only a 2,500 pound winch, and we do have a flat tire, so it's probably about maxed out considering that. Plus it's pulling it up a trailer. So from this point, what we can do is go ahead, level the trailer out a little bit more. It'll actually make it a little easier for us. So once the car kind of gets up on the trailer, just start lowering it down. All right, let's check the old winch here. Yeah, she's pretty hot, but we're almost there. So let's go ahead and see if we can finish this up. Well, all right, there you go, guys. We're gonna go ahead and leave this car on the trailer because we are gonna be taking it back over to our other place where we kind of store all these cars. And no, we will not be restoring this car. I've been asking about it, but obviously, guys, we have ripped this thing apart. Plus, it's pretty rusty. But hey, I want to be honest with you. I'm very, very impressed with this little 2,500 pound winch. I mean, guys, this thing is rock solid. So the rail held up good, the bolts held up good, everything looks good. So tell you what, guys, we're gonna go ahead, wrap this video up. I'm gonna get this car all chalked up, strapped down, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next video. All right, guys, as always, thanks for watching. I figured we'd go ahead and do a follow-up video. That way we can kind of close this thing out. This is typically not the type videos we do, so if you're watching this channel for the first time, don't bother subscribing for stuff like this. We mainly focus on Fox bodies. But anyway, so what I want to do today is test the battery voltage. Now, I didn't come out here and video this the first time, but I will tell you that the day we put all this together, I pulled the car up on the trailer, checked the battery voltage, and it was 11.62. So that's what it was. It's been about 5 days later. It's been a lot of overcast. There's only been 2 days of sunshine, which was yesterday and a little bit today. We've got our solar panel right here, and what we're going to do is open our box up and test our battery. Remember, guys, it was 11.62 was the number 5 days ago whenever I checked it. Now, I'll disconnect these just to show you guys that that's not changing anything if it does. Just gonna have to kind of wedge these in here. All right, and here we go. 11.62 is what we had. Wow, look at that, guys. That's awesome. So we've gained over a volt. That's pretty impressive for 5 days of it sitting here. Honestly, I didn't expect that. I figured it to, I figured it would basically just maintain, but it has put a little bit of a charge back in, so that's really good. I think this is a really good way of doing this. These little solar chargers are like 19 bucks. Go ahead and check out the output that the solar charger itself is doing. Okay, so I've got everything just kind of clamped up on the solar charger itself, and this is what we're seeing. 18.74. Guys, you can't really argue with that. That's awesome. Okay. Also, I want to talk about the guide, or the fair lead as it's called. I know I ran this without it, and I'm going to be honest with you, that was not a smart thing, because you can really mess something up with this. That guide keeps this thing from doing stuff like this. See how it's kind of already been eaten into that? So make sure that you put your fair lead or your guide or whatever you want to call it. I'm probably just going to weld my guide right here to the outside of this. I think that'll be fine. They do make a plate. Harbor Freight sells them, and I don't know why I didn't mention it to start with. Some of the winches come with a plate. This particular winch, with it being 79, 89 bucks, whatever it was, did not come with a plate. Harbor Freight was sold out of them, so I couldn't get one. You really need to get a plate, so that way you can mount your guide and everything up there. It just makes the mounting a little bit easier. But this was a very, very simple way of mounting this, and it worked out good. Okay, so we got a little bit more sun out right now. Let's see what we got. So the sun came out a little bit more, and you can see this thing changing. See, as soon as the sun gets bright, look at that. There you go. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. I've rambled long enough. I love this thing. It's awesome. I recommend it. And just remember, do not do what I did. Make sure you put your fair lead back on here. Don't do this. I mean, you can tear something up pretty quick. I really shouldn't have even done this for the video, because it's not the right way of doing it, but we did it anyway. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. And as always, thanks for watching.